Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe. This dynamic meeting between President Trump and Zelensky is,
if I can, just one thing for invitation.
Amazing.
Thank you very much for your efforts, personal efforts to stop killings and stop this war. Thank you. And using this opportunity, many thanks to your wife, First Lady of the United States. She sent a letter to Putin about our children, adopted children, and my wife, First Lady of Ukraine. She gave the letter. It's not to you, to your wife.
I want
Yeah. So we're saying this sensitive topic. Yeah. Yes. And thanks to our partners and that you supported this format. That after our meeting we can have leaders who are around us, UK, France, Germany, Italy, Finland, EU, NATO, I mean all partners around Ukraine supporting us. Thanks to them and thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you very much for being here.
President Trump.
Yes, Peter, go
Thank you,
ahead.
President Trump. So, President Zelenskyy, you say in the post on X today, Russia must end this war, which it itself started. President Trump, you say President Zelenskyy of Ukraine can end the war with Russia almost immediately if he wants to. Which is it?
Yeah, I think that's true. I think we're going to have a meeting. I think if everything works out well today, we'll have a trilat. And I think there will be a reasonable chance of ending the war when we do that.
And is this the end of the road for American support for Ukraine? Is today's meeting deal or no deal?
I can never say that. It's never the end of the road. People are being killed and we want to stop that. So I would not say it's the end of the road. No, I think we have a good chance of doing it. It's been almost 4 years now that a lot of people were killed last week. A lot of people last week, I mean, millions of people killed, but a lot of people last week for whatever reason, a big number, a lot of soldiers, on both sides. And I know the president, I know myself, and I believe Vladimir Putin wants to see it ended.
And as you met with Putin on Friday, today President Zelenskyy here, as you listen to Russia and Ukraine, which side has the better cards? Right?
Well, I don't want to say that. I'm just here to be, look, this isn't my war, this is Joe Biden's war. He's the one that had a lot to do with this happening, and we want to get it ended. And we want it to end good for everybody. We want it to end good. The people of Ukraine have suffered incredibly.
President Zelenskyy, are you prepared to keep sending Ukrainian troops to their deaths for another couple of years, or are you going to agree to redraw the maps?
Thank you for your question. So, first of all, we live under each day attacks. That today have been a lot of attacks and a lot of wounded people, and the child was dead, small one year and a half. So we need to stop this war, to stop Russia, and we need support, American and European partners. We will do our best for this. So, and I think we show that we are strong people, and we supported the idea of the United States, of personally of President Trump, to stop this war, to make a diplomatic way of finishing this war, and we are ready for trilateral, as President said. This is a good signal about trilateral. I think this is very good. Thank you.
Mr.
If the peace deal will be achieved, are you going to be willing to send American peacekeepers to Ukraine?
Well, we're going to work with Ukraine, we're going to work with everybody, and we're going to make sure that if there's peace, the peace is going to stay long-term. This is very long-term. We're not talking about a 2-year peace and then we end up in this mess again. We're going to make sure that everything's good. We'll work with Russia, we're going to work with Ukraine, and we're going to make sure it works. And I think if we can get to peace, it's going to work. I have no doubt about it.
Your team is talking about security guarantees. Could that involve U.S. troops? Would you rule that in the future?
We'll let you know that maybe later today. We're meeting with 7 great leaders of great countries also, and we'll be talking about that. They'll all be involved, but there'll be a lot of help. When it comes to security, there's going to be a lot of help. It's going to be good. They are first line of defense because they're Europe, but we're going to help them out also. We'll be involved. Yes.
Vladimir Putin mentioned that the war will not end without addressing the root causes of this war. Have you had an understanding what are the root causes of this war?
Well, look, the war is going to end. When it ends, I can't tell you, but the war is going to end, and this gentleman wants it to end, and Vladimir Putin wants it to end. I think the whole world is tired of it, and we're going to get it ended. It was, I've done 6 wars. I've ended 6 wars, and I thought this maybe would be the easiest one, and it's not the easiest one. It's a tough one. A lot of reasons for it. And they'll be talking about it for a long time, but they'll be talking about the others. Look, India, Pakistan, we're talking about the big places. When you look at, you just take a look at some of these wars. You go to Africa and take a look at that. Rwanda and the Congo, Republic of the Congo. That's been going on for 31 years. And so we've done a total of 6, and we really have 6, not including the fact that we obliterated, and it's turned out to be a total obliteration, the nuclear, as you saw, the future nuclear capability of Iran. And this one, I think we're going to get solved also. I feel confident we're going to get it solved.
Thanks, Mr. President. Can you tell us about your conversations with European leaders and what they need to see to support an end to the war?
Yeah, well, we're going to be meeting with a great representative group and 7 very powerful, very big countries, and great people, all friends of mine and friends of yours. And we're going to have some suggestions made. They want to see peace. They would like to see peace. Go ahead, please. In the red.
President Trump, do you think it's fair for Ukraine and for Russia to achieve a lasting and durable peace if Ukraine sees its territories that Russia hasn't yet conquered? Do you think it's a fair peace for Ukraine?
We're going to have a lasting peace. Just to answer the first part of your question, we're going to have a lasting peace. I hope it's going to be immediately. I hope it doesn't have to go on. And I think people of the whole world is going to be very happy when that's announced.
You posted on social media, Mr. President, a very touching letter from the First Lady. And the letter was hand-delivered to President Putin. And it calls for an end to the war, essentially, because of the children's future. Why did the First Lady feel that letter was necessary? Was it because she believes that Mr. Putin is the aggressor in the war? Is a similar letter being hand-delivered to President Zelenskyy?
So the First Lady felt very strongly. She's watched the same thing that you watch and that I watch. I see things that you don't get to see, and it's horrible. But when she's got a great love of children, she has a wonderful son that she loves, probably more than anybody, including me. I hate to say it, but she loves her son. She loves children, and she hates to see something like this happening. And that goes for other wars too. I mean, she sees the heartbreak, the parents, the funerals that you see on television. Always funerals. We want to see something other than funerals. No, she felt. It was a beautiful letter. It was very well received by him. And she did ask me to say, she would love to see this end. She would love to see it end. And she says it very openly, very proudly, and with great sorrow because so many people have been killed.
Last week,
Brian, go ahead, Brian.
Yes, sir. I've got a question for each of you. First of all, Mr. President Zelenskyy, you look fabulous in that suit.
I said the same thing.
You look good.
I said the same thing.
Yeah.
Isn't that what I said to the one that attacked you last time? See, now he's in.
I remember that.
No, my first question for you,
But
President
you
Zelenskyy.
had in the same suit. I changed your
Maybe yours is much better. Real quickly, upon peace, God willing we get peace, are you open to holding an election in your country?
Yes, of course, we are open for election, yes. We have to do safety circumstances and a little bit, we need to work in the parliament because during the war you can't have elections, but we can do security. We need, we need a truth, yes, everywhere, the battlefield, in the sky, the sea, yeah, to make possible for people to do democratic open, legal elections.
So you say
Very-
during the war, you can't have elections. So let me just say 3.5 years from now, so you mean if we happen to be in a war with somebody, no more elections? Oh, that's good. I wonder what the fake.
You like this idea? No.
Speaking of news, I got a question for you. This sounds insane for me even to ask this. But do you think the American media really doesn't even want a peace deal? Because they seem they've been so critical of you every step of the way as you lead the charge for peace.
It's an amazing phenomenon. I said that if in the settlement you got Moscow, St. Petersburg, and thousands of miles around them, they would say I made a bad deal. The level of hatred and animosity is incredible. Not with all. I mean, we have great people up here. We also have terrible people up there that I think are told what to say. But, you know, in solving all of these wars, they don't even write about it. You know, I saw major wars. I saw wars that have been going on for 31, 35, and 37, and a couple of quicker ones. One that was going to go into a full-blown deal very quickly. You know, the one I'm talking about, it was a big one. But they don't even write about that. No matter what I do, no matter what, and you know, this is not anything to do with you, it's probably to your advantage in a certain way, but no matter what I do, no matter what deal I make, from my standpoint, you'll come out good. Maybe President Putin will come out good, but they'll say Trump was absolutely horrible. It's just that, and I've lived with that for a long time. I've lived with it since just before the first election. I used to get great publicity. Now I get the worst publicity anyone's ever gotten in office, but I won in a landslide, so the people understand. They're the only ones that count, ultimately. But I've also had great reporters. I've had journalists that are very good. But it's very sad when you do the right thing. As an example, they said, because of the fact that Vladimir Putin came to American soil, this was a tremendous defeat for Donald Trump. No, it was really wonderful that he did it. It was a hard thing for him to do, to be honest with you. It was the opposite of what they said, but they said it. Now, if he didn't come, they said that was also bad for Trump. Yeah, there's no way. And there's just a great dishonesty of the press, and I think that's why it's lost its credibility. You know, its credibility is at an all-time low. We have a thing going on right now in D.C. We went from the most unsafe place anywhere to a place that now friends are calling me up, Democrats are calling me up, and they're saying, sir, I want to thank you. My wife and I went out to dinner last night for the first time in 4 years. And Washington, D.C. is safe. And you did that in 4 days. I'll tell you, it's safe. I had another friend of mine, he has a son who's a great golfer, he's on tour. And he came in fourth yesterday in the big tournament where Scotty Scheffler made the great shot. And he said his son is going to dinner in Washington, D.C. tonight. I said, would you have allowed that to happen a year ago? He said, no way, no way. He said, what you've done is incredible. And I think the people realize it. But the press says, he's a dictator, he's trying to take over. No, all I want is security for our people. But people that haven't gone out to dinner in Washington, D.C. in 2 years are going out to dinner. And the restaurants the last 2 days were busier than they've been in a long time. Thank you.
I walked around yesterday with MTG. If you could walk around with DC with MTG and not be attacked, the city is safe.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Last week you warned of what you call severe consequences if a 30-day ceasefire or any type of ceasefire were not agreed to by Russia. Will there be severe consequences? Does that change because
I don't think you need a ceasefire. You know, if you look at the 6 deals that I settled this year, they were all at war. I didn't do any ceasefires. And I know that it might be good to have, but I can also understand strategically why, well, you know, one country or the other wouldn't want it. You have a ceasefire and they rebuild and rebuild and rebuild, and, you know, maybe they don't want that. But if you look at the 6 deals that we made peace and you know, long-term, long-running wars, I didn't do any ceasefires. Would I like the concept, you know, I like the concept of a ceasefire for one reason, because you'd stop killing people immediately, as opposed to in 2 weeks or 1 week or whatever it takes. But we can work a deal where we're working on a peace deal while they're fighting. They have to fight. I wish they could stop. I'd like them to stop. But strategically, that could be a disadvantage for one side or the other. But all of these deals I made without even the mention of the words ceasefire.
Can you explain the decision to offer Ukraine Article 5 like security guarantees, but stop short of pushing for their full membership?
Yeah, well, we haven't done anything on that yet. If you look back and you go back long before President Putin, it was always a statement that they would never allow Ukraine into NATO. So that was a statement that was made, but we haven't discussed any of that yet. We're going to be discussing it today, but we will give them very good protection, very good security. That's part of it. And the people that are waiting for us, they are, I think they're very like-minded. They want to help out also.
Thank you, President Trump. The United States has already given hundreds of billions of dollars to this war effort in Ukraine.
Biden.
At best, it is a stalemate and the killing continues. So President Trump, how much more is the United States willing to give Ukraine? And President Zelenskyy, how much more do you want?
Well, I'll start off just by saying we're not giving anything now. We're selling weapons. This is something before, I guess the number is well over $300 billion. That was under Joe Biden, a corrupt politician, not a smart man, never was. By the way, go back 40 years, he was not a smart man 40 years ago either, but now he's in particular bad. This was done by a corrupt administration that shouldn't have been in, and frankly, if the right results of the election were given, if I were president, this war would have never taken place, and he would have been very happy, because he would have liked to have seen. I mean, they went through hell. He went through hell. This war would have never happened, and the people that were killed, a couple of million people, a lot of people with soldiers and everything else, and the people that have been displaced and forced into other areas and other countries because of what's happened, none of that would have happened. And I'm just saying that he was a horrible president, whether it was the borders or this, he was just a horrible, corrupt president.
Mr. President.
You want to answer?
I can. Thanks so much. So first of all, we have possibility now to buy weapons from the United States. We are thankful for this program and this opportunity. We are thankful for Europe. They pay for this. And through NATO program for Bilateral and etc. We have some programs where we can have some money to finance this. And this a part, I think, is not a part for the war and to defend us. It also will be a part for security guarantees, to strengthen our army, to rearm Ukrainian army. This is very, very important. And it depends how much money we need to rearm. For example, the question of air defense, we spoke about it with President Trump, and I'm happy that we have now bilateral decisions and we work on it with production, American production. Normally Europe has so many air defense like Patriots, for example. We need it very much, and this is also about defending.
And I think, I think the good news, we make the best military equipment in the world by far. You mentioned the Patriots, how good are they?
Systems.
We have systems, they're literally 100% foolproof. And it's really like shooting two bullets, two bullets hitting each other in the air in a space like this. The chance is 100%, it's 99 to 100%. So we sell the equipment to NATO. And NATO does what, I don't know what the arrangement is that you have with, but I know that they want you to have the equipment. And we're getting the best equipment in the world, but they pay us for the equipment. Under Biden, it was just crazy what was going on. I believe the number is over 300. I think it could be $350 billion worth of equipment and money and everything else. And we've made more progress in settling this war in the last 2 months than they made in 4 years. This should have been settled a long time ago, but it should have never happened. Yeah, please.
You pushed out on social media.
All right, Brian, go first.
You pushed out on social media about doing away with mail-in ballots and potentially electronic voting machines. Can you explain on that comment?
Well, that's a very off topic, just really quickly. Mail-in ballots are corrupt. Mail-in ballots, well, you can never have a real democracy with mail-in ballots. And we, as a Republican Party, are going to do everything possible that we get rid of mail-in ballots. We're going to start with an executive order that's being written right now by the best lawyers in the country to end mail-in ballots because they're corrupt. And you know that we're the only country in the world, I believe, I may be wrong, but just about the only country in the world that uses them because of what's happened. Massive fraud all over the place. The other thing we want change are the machines. For all of the money they spend, it's approximately 10 times more expensive than paper ballots. And paper ballots are very sophisticated with the watermark paper and everything else. We would get secure elections, we'd get much faster results. The machines, I mean, they say we're going to have the results in 2 weeks. With paper ballots, you have the results that night. Most people, but most people, many countries use paper ballots. It's the most secure form. So between paper ballots, very, very important, paper ballots, and I think maybe even more important, the mail-in voting. We're going to end mail-in voting. It's a fraud. If you have mail-in vote, even Jimmy Carter with this commission, they set it up. He said the one thing about mail-in voting, you will never have an honest election if you have mail-in. And it's time that the Republicans get tough and stop it because the Democrats want it. It's the only way they can get elected. Because with men and women's sports and with transgender for everybody and open borders and all of the horrible things, and now the new thing is they love crime. They're fighting me on the fact that I've made Washington, D.C. safe. We're not going to get mugged, beaten up, or killed like all the people you've been watching get so badly hurt. I'm glad, I hate to take your time in this, but I'm glad you asked me that question. We're going to stop mail-in ballots because it's corrupt. You know, when you go to a voting booth and you do it the right way and you go to a state that runs it properly, you go in, they even ask me. They asked me for my license plate, for identity. I said, I don't know if I have it. He said, sir, you have to have it. I was very impressed, actually. But it's very hard to cheat with mail-in voting. As you know what happens in California, it's so corrupt, where some people get 5, 6, 7 ballots delivered to them. Now, we got to stop mail-in voting, and the Republicans have to lead the charge. The Democrats want it because they have horrible policy. If you have mail-in voting, you're not going to have many Democrats get elected. That's bigger than anything having to do with redistricting, believe me. And the Republicans have to get smart. We're not going to have a country. I said for a long time at rallies, you need borders and you need free and fair elections. Those two things, otherwise you don't have. We have strong borders now. In 90 days, Mr. President, we didn't have 0, 0, and 3 months. Not one person came in illegally into our country. In fact, even I find that hard to believe, but it's run by a little bit of a liberal group that put out the numbers, so I guess it's, but 0, 0, and 0. You go back a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 millions of people poured into our country. It was terrible. Thank you very much.
From President Trump to be able to make a deal? Is it American troops, intelligence, equipment? What is it?
Everything. Really, it includes 2 parts. First, strong Ukrainian army. That's what I began to discuss with your colleagues. And it's a lot about weapon and people and training missions and intelligence. And second, we will discuss with our partners. It depends on the big countries, on the United States.
He wants bodies.
On a lot of our friends.
And Mr. President,
he wants bodies.
America turns to that NATO-like protection in order to get President Zelenskyy to the deal today?
Well, I don't know if you define it that way, but NATO-like, I mean, we have people waiting in another room right now. They're all here from Europe, biggest people in Europe, and they want to give protection. They feel very strongly about it, and we'll help them out with that. I think it's very important. I think it's very important to get the deal done.
You've been involved with the peace in Ukraine since your first day of the administration. What would you say to the Ukrainian people right now who are suffering under the Russian attacks and hoping that the American people will stand with them?
Well, I know Ukrainian people. I've known many over the years. They're great people. They're smart. They're energetic. They love their country. I mean, they love their country, and we want to get this war ended. That's all I can do. I love the Ukrainian people, but I love all people. I love the Russian people. I love them all. I want to get the war stopped. Very important.
aspect of your discussion with Vladimir Putin that left you disappointed?
Look, we just spoke to, I was just telling the president, I just spoke to President Putin indirectly, and we're going to have a phone call right after these meetings today. And we may or may not have a trilat. If we don't have a trilat, then the fighting continues. And if we do, we have a good chance. I think if we have a trilat, there's a good chance of maybe ending it. But he's expecting my call when we're finished with this meeting. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Wow, that was some meeting. I didn't expect Zelensky and President Trump to meet prior to meeting with the EU. So we're going to bring that because they have to bring it all together. So they all had to be in agreement. So Zelensky was sitting up there. I don't know. I think to me, he's getting what he wants. He wants the EU and he wants the United States. Not only, well, Trump said we're not giving them more money, that now somehow they are able to buy from us when they didn't have money. I don't know if they're using recycling our money. So anyway, they're able to buy weapons. But when Trump says help, what does he mean? Does he mean now that he will send the United States to fight against Russia for Zelensky? Because that's what he wants. That's what he wants. So it appears that he's been able, to me, hopefully we'll find out more when he meets with the EU. Are they agreeing to continue this endless war for two cities? It's a strip of land. Right now, Russia and Ukraine can come to some concession because Russia is going to want something out of it. They didn't do all of this and they're not going to get something out of it. So I don't know, to split the cities or whatever the case may be, but they're going to have to prioritize life over land. Russia's intent was to take over the entire Ukraine. It wasn't trying to get two cities. They wanted to take over all of it. And they probably can take over all of it. If the United States intervene, then we will go into World War III. Maybe Trump wants to remain president because he knows when wars go on, just like Zelensky has been able to remain president because they can't have elections. That's in their constitution when a war is going on. So I don't know if people want peace, if they don't want peace. Sometimes it's hard to tell how the pendulum is, how that is spinning right now because I see one side over here, I see one side over there. But as long as whatever they do, that it doesn't involve sending our men and women over there when they already said that there's nothing to protect them from being shot at except a body. The field is a plain field. There's nothing to hide behind. So are we saying that we're going to fight for him? Because he looks very happy because it seems like everybody's going along with him. That's for a small strip of land that they won't lose all of it. Russia get a little piece, they get a little piece. The war be over, it'll be a ceasefire, and it will stop the killing that's going on. So I don't know. I have kind of mixed views. Like, what is Trump saying now? Like, what is he talking about? Because prior to the war, he's like, oh, our soldiers are not going to, we're not doing it. But now I'm hearing like, okay, we're going to help. What do you mean help? Are you talking about weapons? Are you talking about for our soldiers to go over there and die for Ukraine? Which one is it? Because we know what's going to trigger. Russia is not standing by themselves. EU is no comparison to China. They're no comparison to China. I'm looking at reality. They're the third biggest power of the world, followed by Russia, but it's 1 billion of them. And then you got North Korea. I'm like, EU is, I don't think they're powerful enough to take on China as well. If Russia gets his allies, and they're the second most powerful country in the world. So It's a lot to be said. I'm like trying to fill out this meeting, but we most definitely are going to be talking about when they had this bilateral meeting along with the EU. I think when they all come together, they're going to do another press conference. They have to do another one, and they're going to talk to Putin to see where he's at. Trump already knows where he's at, and it has to be some concessions made. This war is not going to end without concessions. And if they let that little one at the kids' table, the little chihuahua, keep having this way, the war is not going to end. I don't care what anybody said. I don't think that's really his intent. Maybe the country, but he loves the power, and power creates monsters. It creates a different viewpoint. When you sitting there, he gets to go to these meetings, get to meet with world leaders. All these doors have opened up from. You got to understand, he was just an actor.
Comedian.
He was a comedian. So this is the biggest acting gig he's ever had in his life. So this is not someone that's been a politician, that's been running countries, been a mayor, a senator, anything in his country.
Tom, this is everyone's safety is at stake when we're talking about
everyone
stopping war. So this is something to focus on.
This is bigger than Ukraine.
Yeah.
My concern is not the correct Ukraine aspect of it. My concern is what it could escalate to. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the escalation of what could happen in the future. So if agreement isn't made and Trump has said, they'll get help, we'll just keep fighting. EU wants to get, so if EU gets involved and they send, your European nations get involved and they start sending troops, then what do you really think Putin is going to do? Beaver, what is Russia going to do?
Yeah, and you're watching, dude. You're blocked.
What is Russia going to do? If they say something, report them. Don't just block. These are just conversations. And this is the United States of America. You have to look at all angles of what's going on. First of all, it's not our war. Our president has interjected himself as a mediator to try to bring peace between Ukraine and Russia. That's what his objective is right now. He's trying to bring some sort of peace between these two countries, not for us to get involved. And then it escalates. But this meeting, it sounds like he's saying, you want to show that, we're going to get involved. We're going to, Zelenskyy is not asking for money. He said, we're going to pay for our weapons. Where are you getting this now newfound money from? And what is it that he's looking for from the United States of America other than our bodies? Because they're trying to get 60-year-old men and older to go and fight the wars. So if you already kidnapped all your young people off the streets, and now you're asking for people 60 and older, that's concerning to me, what he wants. So I don't know. It's just like looking at from all aspects of it. Or we could just let these people handle their own war. Don't interject ourselves, because all the attention now is on the United States of America. It's their war. The NATO, EU, whatever's involved, let them settle this, because it seems like they want this just to go on without concessions. Like, we want all this and we not selling for nothing else. And we just want to continue until we have our way, but you're going to lose more. You're going to lose more land and more lives. And now from other countries are going to lose lives of their citizens, and it's not even their country that they're fighting for. How crazy is that? You're not even fighting for your country. You'll be fighting for this man's country. And he'd be walking, come on. It has to be an agreement made between Ukraine and Russia that both of them are not going to like the agreement. I don't believe neither one of them are winning. They're both are losing. Nobody is winning this war. That's a fact. No one is winning this war. But people have to make some sort of concessions in order for it to end. So when they come back on and they are going to have the EU and they're going to put their input, and I'm quite sure I'm going to hear them saying, we're going to stand with Ukraine. We're going to fight. So you're going to send your citizens from your country over to fight for Ukraine for that little strip that Russia was able to take. Size of 2 cities. So everybody gonna die for Ukraine, these strips of land that's no bigger than 2 cities. Could cause a World War III. That's my only concern. They can fight until Jesus come back. But when they want to bring everyone else into it and nothing's being resolved, you're not going to gain any more land. There has to be concessions. Russia is going to take more land. They can be a lot more ferocious than what they are, and they got a bigger backing. I think the backing of China is bigger than the backing of the EU. That's just my opinion. I don't think it's any comparison with Russia and China against the EU. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. They're the second and third most powerful countries in the world. And we're supposed to fight against all that? I don't see this ending well for any of us. Are you going to do this, Elijah? Your ad? So I don't know. What do you guys think? How should the United States involve itself, or should we stand down and allow Zelenskyy, because nobody wanted to talk for 3.5 years. Nobody communicated. When Biden was in office, the administrators and the EU, no one said anything. No one came to the table. Nobody tried to bring anyone together. We just kept sending money over there, hundreds of billions of dollars, for them to continue fighting a war, and nobody was speaking. Trump comes into office and say I'll end the war in 1 to 2 days. You know, that was impossible, because anytime something has been going on for 3.5 years and an aggressor has gained land, he's going to be more aggressive. So the war is going to be more difficult to end. It's going to be more difficult to end. So now Putin is in power. He's not worrying about nothing. We're trying to show off our military. Well, guess what? They got a military too. How are they the second most powerful if they don't have their own weapons? So we got to be realistic about who our allies are. Now, if the United States ally behind us with China, I would feel more comfortable, because there's 1 billion of them, but they're Russia ally. And I just see this thing continuing to escalate. Because if NATO's up there, like they the big bad wolves, and we don't want to do this, we don't want to do that, Putin don't have to go along with them. And that's concerning. You have to make some sort of agreements. You have to make concessions. Leaders are supposed to look for resolution. You got to look at the Ukrainian people. The Ukrainian people don't want the war. They want the war to end. They want the war to stop. They have asked. He has shut down their media, even a clergy speaking out. They saying that Zelenskyy is a little dictator himself. You're not hearing from the countrymen that are actually in that country and hearing the reporting and crying out for the people. It can't be great being kidnapped off of a street. And now they are not concerned about money. They want more people to come and die for them. And continue to die. Are you going to do this? Continue to die for them. So it's just ironic what's going on. And it has to be resolution. But I know the next slide, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe, you guys. We came on late because I had appointments and stuff. I would have been on this like earlier, more, on top of it. But the next meeting with NATO, we are going to be right off. We're going to be right there during tip-off. Because I really want to hear from the EU and hear from President Trump so that I can have a clear understanding. What is Trump talking about? What is he saying? Is he saying that if Russia doesn't agree, we're going to fight now? We're going to fight. So you know that's World War III. We're going to fight now? Is that a way now? Everybody wants to retain power by having these wars? You know, it's concerning to me. Zelensky doesn't want money. We've given all the money. No, he got money from the EU. No, he wants bodies. My son did. He has an item that I guess he's not gonna promote it on this live. But anyway, you guys, it's like I don't know. I do not feel comfortable what has transpired at this meeting. You know, nothing. I don't hear Zelensky trying to talk out and being disruptive, his normal self. Like he's saying, we're not giving up nothing. We're not, well, the war is not going to end. It's not going to end. It's going to continue. It will continue if concessions aren't made by both Russia and Ukraine. And I don't think that more people should die for two cities. I don't think that it should escalate to World War III for two cities. Then it becomes everything's blown up. And everyone is suffering. You're not doing it? And everyone is suffering. So it is, I don't know. I don't know how to, the meeting, how to just look at, was that in our favor or was it against us? Something about it didn't sit right with me. I'm just feeling like Trump words just, to me, are concerning. It's concerning because it's not our war. We need to just stand. They can't agree, stand down. Let the EU and let Zelensky and Russia, let them figure it out. Let them figure it out. But I don't think that we should go and intervene, especially if they don't want to come to some sort of agreement. There's nothing else we can do. Trump interjected himself saying what he could do. And if he can't do it, then they're just going to have to battle it out. Don't involve us.
People in the comments, explain how we're wrong. You keep saying that what she's saying is wrong. Explain it. A lot of people saying that.
Because they're from Ukraine. Yeah. But we're United States of America. If they're not going to agree upon anything, this is not our war. President Trump interjected himself into what was happening in those countries. But if there's not going to be anyone that wants to make an agreement, and the only agreement is for people to be sent from other countries to die for Ukraine, no. Especially from the United States, because he doesn't want money. If we get involved, we won't be the only ones involved. You're going to have China involved, and isn't that moving towards World War III? We get involved, and their allies get involved. That's World War III. Then Ukraine don't have anybody else to fight. They don't have no more people to fight their war. So who's going to be fighting their war? Americans now? What he wanted? Americans for two cities? Everything going to be blown up. And let us start dropping the news. Millions are going to die. They talking about thousands. Trump is very concerned about the young men of their color dying. But it will be tens and thousands, 100,000s of people dying if this escalates of all ethnicities.
People are saying we have an obligation to protect Ukraine because America gave them nukes, is what people are saying in the comments.
You know what? We don't have an obligation to send our people over there to die for that little strip of land. EU and NATO, they have an obligation. We don't have an obligation. They're not even in NATO. We have no obligation to Ukraine. They would talk out of having nukes, I guess, for protection. But when you have a leader that doesn't know how to be a leader, that's never been a leader, that's like at the little kids table that pouts in the little chihuahua that does not know how to sit with the big dogs, the two top world leaders like Putin and Trump, then that's a problem because he has to look at the people. What's going to end the war? What's going to end the war? It has to be a concession. And ending the war is not us fighting the war. That means the war is going to continue. That means the war escalates. That means we're dying for that man's country. That's not our obligation. Our obligation is to protect America. That's our obligation. Protect our citizens. Protect our soldiers. Not you. We're going to give Zelensky, the United States military? No. No. We're not giving him that. That's what he wants. The first meeting with Trump, he said, no, you fight. You're in the United States, y'all fight. He asked for us to go fight the war. That's why I know that's what he wants. That's what he always wanted. Because he has no more people to die. They are dead. He has no more people to die. Maybe the 240,000 that are living in this country that left the war, would he want to send the 240,000 people that fled, that we're taking care of, that's here in the United States? They're here, that we have given them Medicare, Social Security, food stamps, welfare. We're taking care of them. What, they want to send them back to fight? Or you're going to have Americans to volunteer to go over there and fight? Because they're only going to come back in a body bag. There's nothing to protect them. You know, there's choices. It's not our war. It's not our war, but I don't want us to make it our war, that we're fighting for Ukraine and Ukraine is being wiped out anyway. Because when they start dropping them nukes on it, it won't even be in existence. It won't be in existence. And then Russia is going to take more of their land. That's his only objective. You want to cry about 2 cities? For millions or more people to die. I don't think that's a great trade-off. No, I don't. If they don't want Trump and they don't respect Trump, he needs to stand down. If they want to fight and continue to fight, that's their right. Let them keep fighting till the last man standing.
J23 said it's the end times. Get used to it.
Yeah, I know. These are last days, I know. But this is just being, just looking at both sides of what's going on. If they want to fight to the last man standing, let them fight it out. If they can't come to agreement, let them fight it out. Let them fight it out. When NATO want to be big and bad and thinking, United States and Trump wants to look like the president of the world, I mean, we'll send, no. Because we don't have 1 billion people, but China does. We have 382 million. Oh, they have 1 billion. That's a hell of a lot of difference. You want to show, Elijah came up with, well, you guys go check out speakthetruth2.0.com, and you have to spell the word out, point. We do have a website. We are promoting and launching a new 3D iPhone cases in any size. We have a Labor Day sale. It's $26.99. And it's phenomenal. And look for our shorts demonstrating the product. You're gonna love it. It looks even better in real life. But you could get a view of it. I don't know. We could put it up to the video. I don't know why. This is not mine. This is his. And this is like a 3D of Trump. That's our president showing his love for this country. This is the iconic July the 13th. 2024 in Butler, PA, when he rose with his victory fist up in the air. And we have this other one, his famous mugshot that was taken, I believe, August the 23rd in Fulton County, Atlanta. And this is his mugshot, his famous mugshot. So these are 3D cases. This is something like you can be proud of. If you MAGA, get it for a birthday, an anniversary, upcoming holidays. It's a wonderful gift.
And
but
this proudly.
And this is only one of a kind. Nobody else has it, but I think it's really cool.
And this is the Democrats one. So we got Kamala, Obama, and Joe Biden.
Yeah, and
so
we're non-biased, so
yeah.
We lean more to the right, though. But we didn't want to leave the Democrats out. That's another case that they can be proud of with the former President Obama, former President Joe Biden, and former Vice President Kamala Harris and 2024 presidential candidate. So these are beautiful pictures of them. So for the Democrats that love their leaders, this is for you. And we're going to come out with a lot of other cases, and even sports cases, with, say, Michael Jordan, his iconic pictures, the tongue out, the flying through the air, and all his glory, and, different display. And I want to do one with Biden with a MAGA hat on, and him eating ice cream and something else, going, falling up the steps or whatever, just for, the humor, and find, funny one for Trump, but those are products you can go on to our website, or you can look in our description. There should be a link to take you to the website. So if you're interested, they're $26.99. That includes shipping, taxes, and handling. Yeah, shipping and handling and taxes. So that's all included, mailed directly to your home. And you just go on the website, you just put the type of iPhone case. And people have been asking, because we got a video that you can look at, showing that someone was asking me, were we going to do Samsung Galaxy? So we are going to go into the Androids, but we're launching the iPhone cases. Those are going to be the start, and we're going to expand to other phone cases. So if you have any questions, you guys can always leave us a comment as well. But I don't know, there's a lot going on, and I'm just looking at, I'm really concerned after I saw this meeting. This meeting really has me kind of concerned about where do we go from here. Like, where are we going from here is like a concern. And right now we're going to go, it started like, we're going to look at 11 minutes ago. It should have started the meeting. Let's see, with the White House. Yeah, so now he's meeting with the UK leaders. So the meeting just started. So we're going to go now. We're going to switch over to what is going on, the conversations with the UK, with the EU.
Right through here. It's going to be, I'll tell you, but it's going to be fantastic, actually. You can let them come in. I think we're going to have a successful talk today. Please, come on in. Do you guys want to take some questions right now? No? Sid. Hi, Mark. Yeah, good. Well, thank you very much. It's a great honor to have you here. Special place, White House is special no matter where you're from. Represents so much, and it really is beautiful. And thank you for all of the wonderful things that took place today. We've had a very successful day thus far, and important discussions as we work to end the killing and stop the war in Ukraine. We're all working for the same goal, very simple goal. We want to stop the killing, get this settled. I've just had the honor of being with President Zelenskyy, and all of the discussions that we've had. We covered a lot of territory, and I spoke indirectly with President Putin today. We're going to call President Putin right after this meeting. I'm sure we're going to have a solid meeting, good meeting, maybe a great meeting, and we're going to try and work out a trilat after that and see if we can get it finished, put this to sleep, because this is not since the Second World War has there been anything like this. So I'm honored to welcome NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, who's a great gentleman, great political leader in Europe generally, but now he's the NATO Secretary General, and you're doing a fantastic job. Thank you very much, Mark. Prime Minister Starmer of the United Kingdom, our friend and my friend, and doing really well. And people like him a lot. We all like him. Everyone knows President Macron of France, who's been with me from the beginning, one of the first people I met as a foreign dignitary, and I liked him from day one. And I like him even more now. That's pretty good. That's unusual. That's a pretty unusual thing. Prime Minister Meloni of Italy, who's a really great leader and an inspiration over there. She's served now, even though she's a very young person, she's served there for a long period of time relative to others. They don't last very long. You've lasted a long time. You're going to be there a long time. Chancellor Merz of Germany, who is a very strong person and a very strong leader and very highly respected in Germany. And he's my friend, and it's an honor to have him as my friend. Thank you very much. Very good. You look great with your tan. Where did you get that tan? I want to get a tan like that. President Stubb of Finland, and he's somebody that, where are we here? Oh, you look better than I've ever seen you look. But you've done a great job, and we wanted to have you here because you're somebody that we all respect. And you've had a lot to do with the success, I think, and the potential success. And thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it. And the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, who is somebody that we just made a big deal with all of those countries. I don't know. I think you might be more powerful than all these guys at this table. I don't know. But we had a great negotiation, and you're respected all over the world. So I want to thank you very much for being here. It's a great honor to have you. The Alaska Summit reinforced my belief that while difficult, peace is within reach, and I believe that in a very significant step, President Putin agreed that Russia would accept security guarantees for Ukraine, and this is one of the key points that we need to consider, and we're going to be considering that at the table also, like who will do what, essentially. I'm optimistic that collectively we can reach an agreement that would deter any future aggression against Ukraine, and I actually think there won't be. I think that's even overrated, largely overrated, but we're going to find out, and I think that the European nations are going to take a lot of the burden. We're going to help them, and we're going to make it very secure. We also need to discuss the possible exchanges of territory, taking into consideration the current line of contact. That means the war zone, the war lines that are pretty obvious, very sad actually to look at them. And negotiating positions, President Putin, also you have President of Ukraine, who is, you just met a little while ago, and we're going to try and get a three-party meeting, maybe as soon as we can. And I have a feeling you and President Putin are going to work something out. Ultimately, this is a decision that can only be made by President Zelenskyy and by the people of Ukraine working also together in agreement with President Putin. And I just think that's very good things are going to come of it. So I hope we have a good meeting, and if we can have a good meeting, I'll set up a meeting with President Putin. And if you'd like, I'll go to that meeting. And not that I want to do that, but I will do that because we want to save a lot of people from dying. A lot of people are dying, and we got to save them. We got to save it. 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people sometimes a week. All of us would obviously prefer an immediate ceasefire while we work on a lasting peace, and maybe something like that could happen. As of this moment, it's not happening, but President Zelenskyy and President Putin can talk a little bit more about that. You know, in the 6 or so wars that we stopped, we haven't had a ceasefire. And so I don't know that it's necessary. You can do it through the war, but it would be, I like the ceasefire from another standpoint. You immediately stop the killing. But I believe a peace agreement at the end of all of this is something that's very attainable, and it can be done in the near future. With all of the wars that I got involved in, we only have this one left. Of course, as I walk out the door, there'll probably be a new one starting, and I'll get that stopped too. But I thought this was going to be one of the easier ones. It's actually one of the most difficult. They're very complex. The next step would be for a trilateral meeting, and that will be worked out. And I just look forward to working and having a great result. We're going to spend a lot of time today talking about, and we're really honored you guys came over. I mean, these are the heads of major countries and respected all over Europe. And they speak for, largely, I think I should say, but pretty much for the other countries of Europe. And we will come to a resolution today, I think, on almost everything, including probably the security. And that's pretty much the story. I'd like to say, Mr. President, would you like to say something? You have the media. If you want, you could come over and you could stand, you could use mine, or you could just turn around, whichever you feel comfortable with.
Thank you so much. I can speak without microphone. Thank you so much. I think that we had very good conversation with President Trump.
Very good.
And it really was the best one. Or sorry, maybe the best one will be in the future. But it was really good. And we spoke about very sensitive points. The first one is security guarantees, and we are very happy with President that all the leaders are here, and the security in Ukraine depends on the United States and on you and on those leaders who are with us in our hearts. They have been online before yesterday and etc. So a lot of countries on the side of Ukraine, our people, and all of us want to finish this war, stop Russia, stop this war. We spoke about it, and we will speak more about security guarantees. This is very important that the United States gives such strong signal and is ready for security guarantees.
What does
The
that
second
mean?
point, or maybe the first, the humanitarian direction, very important to exchange all the prisoners, and I think that President will help, and I was very thankful to your wife again, Mr. President, for the letter about our adopted children, and I hope that really it can be a historic role for the people to bring kids back to the families and be happy to the families. Yes, this is so important, and I'm happy that we discussed it, this track with President Trump, and I hope that we will find decisions. And then what is very important, that all the sensitive things, territorial, etc., we will discuss on the level of leaders during trilateral meeting, and President Trump will try to organize such meeting, and he said that he will come or not come. Ukraine will be happy if you
both want me there, I will be there.
Yeah, thank you. And I think this is very important. Yes, so security guarantees bring kids back, and all our people, not only warriors, first of all warriors, and all the civilians, journalists, a lot of people in prison. So we need them back. And guarantees which will work for the years, we spoke about it, and I showed the President a lot of details on the battlefield, on the map. Thank you so much. Thank you for the map, by the way.
Good map.
It was great. Yeah. I'm thinking how to take it back.
We'll get you.
No. I think that we had constructive, specific meeting, and I'm very thankful to all the leaders who are here, and you help a lot, and so we're happy that we have such big unity today. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much,
Mr.
President. I think you'll see that President Putin really would like to do something else. I think when we set that up, when we do, I think it's going to be when, not if. I think you're going to see some really positive moves. I know there's over 1,000 prisoners, and I know they're going to release them. Maybe they're going to release them very soon, like immediately, which I think is great. But we're going to set that up today after this meeting. So very good and great remarks. I appreciate it. Mark, as head of NATO, maybe you could say a few words, please.
Yes, I will be very brief. I really want to thank you, President of the United States, dear Donald, for the fact that you, as I said before, broke the deadlock, basically with President Putin by starting that dialogue. And I think it was in February that you had the first phone call, and from there we are now where we are today. And that is, I think, if we play this well, we could end this. And we have to end this. We have to stop the killing, we have to stop the destruction of Ukraine's infrastructure. It is a terrible war, so I'm really excited. And let's make the best out of today and make sure that from today onwards we get this thing to an end as soon as possible. I really want to thank you for your leadership, what you are doing for Volodymyr, but of course also all the European colleagues. It is really crucial. And the fact that you have said, I'm willing to participate in the security guarantees is a big step. It's really a breakthrough, and it makes all the difference. So also thank you for that.
Well, NATO also has agreed from 2% to 5%, which is something that is a massive amount of money. And it's 2% that wasn't always paid to 5% that is paid. That's a big difference. And so we appreciate that. That was a great move. Thank you very much. Ursula, maybe on behalf of the Commission, you could say a couple of words.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. And it's a very important moment. Indeed, we are here, Europeans, as friends and allies. We had a fantastic NATO summit. Together as the two largest and biggest economies in the world, we had the largest trade deal ever agreed. And now we are here to work together with you on a just and lasting peace for Ukraine. Stop the killing. This is really our common interest, stop the killing. And indeed, it's very good to hear that we're working on the security guarantees, Article 5 life security guarantees, so important. But I want to thank you also that you mentioned the thousands of Ukrainian children that have been abducted. And as a mother and grandmother, every single child has to go back to its family. This should be one of our main priorities also in these negotiations, to make sure that the children come back to Ukraine, to their families.
Thank you, and we did. I was just thinking we're here for a different reason, but we just a couple of weeks ago made the largest trade deal in history. So that's a big thing, and congratulations. That's great. Thank you very much, Ursula. Mr. Chancellor from Germany, a very great leader.
Mr. President, Donald, many thanks for having us today. I think this is extremely helpful that we are meeting and hearing that the two of you are having such a good meeting today here in Washington. The next steps ahead are the more complicated ones now. The path is open. You opened it last Friday. But now the way is open for complicated negotiations. And to be honest, we all would like to see a ceasefire, the latest from the next meeting on. I can't imagine that the next meeting would take place without a ceasefire. So let's work on that, and let's try to put pressure on Russia, because the credibility of these efforts we are undertaking today are depending on at least a ceasefire from the beginning of the serious negotiations from next step on. So I would like to emphasize this aspect and would like to see a ceasefire from the next meeting, which should be a trilateral meeting wherever it takes place.
Well, we're going to let the president go over and talk to the president, and we'll see how that works out, and if we can do that. I will say, and again I say it, in the 6 wars that I've settled, I haven't had a ceasefire. We just got into negotiations, and one of the wars was, as you know, in the Congo was 31 years long. Another one that we settled last week with 2 great countries was 35 years going on, and we had no ceasefire. So if we can do the ceasefire, great. And if we don't do a ceasefire, because many other points were given to us, many points were given to us, great points. Please, Georgia, go ahead.
Well, thank you very much, Donald, Mr. President, for hosting us today in this important meeting. And I think it is an important day, a new phase, after 3 years and a half that we didn't see any kind of sign from the Russian side that there was a willing for dialogue. So something is changing, something has changed, thanks to you. Thanks also to the stalling in the battlefield, which was achieved with the bravery of Ukrainians and with the unity that we all provided to Ukraine. And the reason why I mention it is that we also have to remind that if we want to reach peace and if we want to guarantee justice, we have to do it united. So that's why it's a very good day, the one we are in. You can obviously count on Italy as it was from the beginning. We are on the side of Ukraine, and we do absolutely support your efforts towards peace. We will talk about many important topics. The first one is security guarantees, how to be sure that it won't happen again, which is the precondition of every kind of peace. I'm happy that we will discuss about that. I'm happy that we will begin from a proposal, which is the, let's say, Article 5 model, which was Italian at the beginning. So we are always ready to bring our proposals for peace, for dialogue. It's something we have to build together to guarantee peace and to defend the security of our nation. So thank you, Mr. President, for hosting us.
Thank you very much. Emmanuel?
Thank you, Mr. President, for organizing this meeting and for your commitment. And everything was said, but I just have to say here, everybody around this table is in favor of peace. And we work very hard, and we've worked very hard during the past few years to have a peace which is a robust and long-standing peace. This is why the idea of a trilateral meeting is very important, because this is the only way to fix it. And by the way, I think as a follow-up, we would need probably a quadrilateral meeting, because when we speak about security guarantees, we speak about the whole security of the European continent. And this is why we are all united here with Ukraine on this matter. In order to organize such a trilateral meeting, your idea to ask for a truce or ceasefire, at least to stop the killings, as we discussed, is a necessity. And we all support this idea. And in order to have such a long-standing peace for Ukraine and for the whole continent, we do need the security guarantees.
From
And the first one is clearly a credible Ukrainian army for the years and decades to come.
And nobody's left.
And the second one is our own commitments, all of us. And we worked very hard during the past few months among the coalition of the willings, with the support of NATO, to build the different pillars of security guarantees and our commitments. And you can be sure that Europeans are very lucid about the fact that they have their fair share in these security guarantees for Ukraine, but their own security is clearly at stake in this situation. So you can count on us, as we can count on you, in order to deliver this robust peace for both Ukraine and Europe.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Mr. Prime Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and thank you for hosting us here. Can I start where Emmanuel started, which is we all want peace. The war in Ukraine has had a huge impact, particularly on the Ukrainians who've borne the brunt of it, but it's also had an impact on Europe and on the United Kingdom. There's not a family or community that hasn't been affected. And when we talk about security, we're talking about security not just of Ukraine, we're talking about the security of Europe and the United Kingdom as well, which is why this is such an important issue. I think this is such an important meeting. As a group, I think we've had a discussion on the phone a number of times, Mr. President, but be able now to be around the table to take it forward. And I really feel that we can, I think, with the right approach this afternoon, make real progress, particularly on the security guarantees. And your indication of security guarantees, of some sort of Article 5 style guarantees, fits with what we've been doing with the Coalition of the Willing, which we started some months ago, bringing countries together and showing that we were prepared to step up to the plate when it came to security. With you coming alongside, the US alongside what we've already developed, I think we could take a really important step forward today. A historic step, actually, could come out of this meeting in terms of security for Ukraine and security in Europe. I also feel that we can make real progress towards a just and lasting outcome. Obviously, that has to involve Ukraine, and a trilateral meeting seems the sensible next step. So thank you for being prepared to take that forward, because I think if we can ensure that that is the progress out of this meeting, both security guarantees and some sort of progress on trilateral meeting of some sort to bring some of the difficult issues to a head, then I think today will be seen as a very important day in recent years. In relation to a conflict which has gone on for 3 and a bit years, and so far nobody's been able to bring it to this point, so I thank you for that.
Well, thank you very much. And, you know, it's very interesting because this is the first for the White House. You can't say that very often. It's seen a lot over the years, since 1800, 1799, to be almost exact. But this is the first where we've had so many prime ministers, presidents, the heads of European nations. And by the way, Alex, I'd like you to say a couple of words too. You're a young, powerful man. Before I finish up, I want you to say a couple of words. Go ahead.
I'll take the notion of youth back to my wife and try to convince her. Thank you very much, Mr. President. I think in the past 2 weeks, we've probably had more progress in ending this war than we have in the past 3.5 years. And I think the fact that we're around this table today is very much symbolic in the sense that it's Team Europe and Team United States helping Ukraine. And the progress that we're looking out of this meeting is about the security guarantees, which are a big part of this, and then of course moving towards a process with a trilateral meeting with you and President Putin and President Zelensky. Some of the international media might wonder, why is the President of Finland here? I think the reason is probably that we might come from a small country, but we have a long border with Russia, over 800 miles. And we of course have our own historical experience with Russia from World War II, the Winter War and the War of Continuation. And if I look at the silver lining of where we stand right now, we found a solution in 1944, and I'm sure that we'll be able to find a solution in 2025 to end Russia's war of aggression and find and get a lasting and just peace. The situation is very difficult, but that's why we're here.
Thank you, Alex, very much. Good job. So we're going to be meeting for a while, and we're going to discuss some of the issues. And I don't think there's any issue that's overly complex. It's at a point now where people want to do things. I really do believe, I've known him for a long time. I've always had a great relationship with him. I think that President Putin wants to find an answer too. And we'll see. And in a certain period of time, not very far from now, a week or 2 weeks, we're going to know whether or not we're going to solve this, or is this horrible fighting going to continue? We'll do our best to get it ended. And I believe you have two willing parties, and usually that's good news, but two willing parties that want to make a deal. And we'll journey together, and we'll go over and we'll see if it can be done. And it's possible it might not be able to be done. On the other hand, it's possible it will. It will save thousands and thousands of lives a week. And so it's something we really have to do. And or at least we have to give it our best. It's all you can do. You can give it your best, but I think we may have a very good outcome. So I want to thank you all, and the media, I want to thank you. We're going to be staying here for a little while. Then we're going to walk over to the Oval Office, and we're going to have another little discussion about similar matters. And then they're going to go home to their great countries and report. And I'm going to remain here and work, and you're going to go and work. We're all going to be working. We may be in a different location, but that's what we know how to do is work. But I want to thank the media. Has been actually very fair, generally speaking, very fair. I think it's important that they're fair because this is a very important subject. We have to get it ended, and so that's all we ask for is fairness with the media. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Well, they're not doing the questions from the reporters. So I don't know if they plan on, meeting again, and now they're going to take questions from the world leaders. I don't feel comfortable whatever this meeting. I really don't feel comfortable with it. What I'm not feeling it.
I haven't liked anything Trump has done recently.
Let's see. We're going to see them coming together, walking together. Huh? Yeah. Oh, they pushing each other out the way.
Not a good day. That was not a great day.
Look at Zelenskyy. He's no taller than this woman right here. You're a little guy.
Is everything okay? You all set? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I guess that's more like a class picture. Want to get that. I don't know. I'm not feeling this meeting because none of these leaders or whatever from the EU, European nations wanted to meet. They didn't try to meet. No one tried to end this war. And I don't know, some of this is just smiling for the cameras, the theatrics, but I'm not feeling good about any of this. Something about this just doesn't feel great. It looks like Trump, I don't know what's going on with him, that it seems like he's making commitments. Like, in what way are we going to help Zelensky? Because Zelensky wants soldiers, he wants bodies, he doesn't want money. And it looks like he's very satisfied that he's perhaps they're in agreement, but you have to get the big dog to agree. Russia's a big dog. That is the second most powerful country in the world. You can't just negate that they are something to be reckoned with. So it doesn't matter. EU, they were weak. To me, they didn't move. Like, why did they sit around for 3.5 years and did nothing? They wasn't even on Putin's level to even talk to him. They scared of Putin. They want Trump at the meeting because Trump is the only one can talk to Putin. Putin will squash them. I really feel like he will squash them because they don't seem powerful. It's like everybody has an agenda. I don't really trust anybody around that whole freaking table. It's like every country have their own motives. Where were y'all all this time that this was going on? And now y'all are only comfortable because somehow Trump is like, okay, the United States is going to make sure that we're part of their security for Ukraine. And that's what Zelensky want. No, you fight. You the big, you fight. It's like, that's why you don't hear him barking like a little chihuahua, because it appears like we're going along with what he wants, meaning to have other nations fight the Ukrainian war for the size of 2 cities. That thousands of more lives will be lost fighting for a country that's not even your own. Like, when you have other countries, other nations involved, that's World War III. Because it won't be Zelensky Ukrainians fighting. It would be other people from other nations fighting in the war. And they act like Russia is helpless. That's the part that, like, if we fight Russia, we could throw down. But we wouldn't just be fighting Russia. We would be fighting China and North Korea and wherever their other allies are. The Iranians and everybody else. We'd be fighting everyone. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable. It seemed like Trump is, I don't know what's going on, that his stance seemingly has changed as far as where he stood in the middle. Like, he's supposed to be in the middle mediator, but you're siding completely one side, and you're not taking into account that this could really blow up on us. And that's my biggest concern. My biggest concern. And he's going to talk to Putin. Putin's not going to be happy looking at all this and them sitting there talking about, well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to side. Like, it's actually like he's saying that we're going to fight for them. I'm like, is that what I'm hearing, or maybe I'm hearing things. I was under the impression that Trump settled this with Putin. Okay, WP. Then we get this today. Yeah. Debbie, did you say anything? Yeah. I'm kind of confused. Facts speak on it. Okay, Eric. Hey. It's like, I don't know. I just have a terrible feeling about the direction of where this is going, because everyone's aware of, if you have war, everyone can retain power. If there's an end to the war, then Ukrainians can then elect a new president. And I feel like Zelensky wants that power remain president. Trump is aware of the fact, if a war continues, that he actually has the same benefits. He can retain power. It will be no 2028 election. So I don't know if there's some sort of agreement going on, because you're not going to twist Putin's arm when it doesn't have to be twisted. I don't think the EU, if they were strong like that, then why didn't they take on Putin until Trump came along? We were already supplying the monetary assistance and weapons assistance to Ukraine when President Biden was in office. But now it's like, I don't know, I'm hearing something differently. Let's see, I've been rocking with Trump from the read this, Elijah, because I can't see it exactly, Cindy. What did Eric say? Hey, Eric, what did he say?
I've been rocking with Trump from the, but this has me a little confused.
Yeah, I'm like kind of confused. It's like he was like, when last time Zelenskyy was in the office, talking about, you look, you can't do nothing about us. You saying you only power because of us. What we doing now is like he's agreeing with the EU. All of them are happy now because the United States saying that we will secure or whatever Ukraine. It's like, I forget the actual language. Maybe someone in the chat can repeat it. But it was giving me an impression he's saying that if Putin does anything, then United States is going to participate in the fight. Am I hearing that? Are you guys hearing that? It's like all these leaders have some sort of agenda that I can't tell sometimes. Are they looking out for the interests of their countrymen or not? And this is not our war. Trump injected himself. He wants to be the mediator. Don't put us in this. Like he said, we got an ocean between us. Don't put us in this. This is not our war. But it's like he's like the EU feels more empowered because the United States is saying we're going to stand behind the EU and Ukraine to the point that it would actually become our war. It would become literally Russia against United States of America. That's what it would turn into. It would turn in Russia against the United States of America. And that's what I'm having a feeling. You agree, Debbie? I agree with you. That's, it's not going to be headed by the Ukrainian, Ukraine against Russia. It would be, if we intervene, it's going to be Russia against the United States of America. There would be no mention of Ukraine. It would no longer be their war. They wouldn't even mention the EU. It would be Russia against the United States of America. That's what the war will become. I hope that's not where we're heading towards, because the way Trump is speaking, I want them to tell us, what was the agreement you made, Trump, to Ukraine? Like they're glossing over it, but they're not saying, how are we going to intervene and do more than what we haven't been doing other than sending soldiers? So what are you saying? What is he saying? Exactly, Cindy. With respect for the necessary lies. And they talking about the lives now. You send us over it, then we're going to be talking about then American lives. Then American lives. We're going to fight a war that's not ours. If the United States if we do anything, it would no longer be the Ukrainian war. They have no people to fight. Let's just start there. They have no more people to fight the war. So if the war doesn't end, they don't have anybody else to send on those battlefields. So who are they going to get the soldiers from? Where are the people going to come from? Not our boys, Debbie P. That's our member. Thank you, Debbie, for joining us. So we, like in every live, I want to give a shout out to our member list. It's Karen Leah Holland, Kay Cooper, Jeremy Stick, Chef Chevy TV, Debbie P, Kevin Law, and Debbie Godsey. Think about becoming a member to Speak the Truth 2.0. We look at both sides. We lean totally towards the right, but we'll call out Trump, and we'll call out all the Democratic Party. We'll call out everyone. No one agrees 100% with anyone, but this is delicate right here. We're not going to follow anybody to the slaughter. This is really delicate, and it seemed like to me the language is changing. Maybe I don't know. And they didn't clarify. They didn't allow any other questions. I don't know if they're going to come back on. I hope they clarify. What are they saying? Because I need more clarification. I need them to, I need more, because I need to follow. What are we agreeing to as the United States of America? What are we agreeing to? Yeah, we should have been on. You know, I need more clarity. I need, hopefully, because I need to know what are we agreeing to, because something is going on that maybe it's over my head. And Zelensky didn't come by himself. All of the leaders, all the main European leaders came to sit down to have this discussion, a discussion that they didn't even have when and now Zelensky wore a suit. He did have a suit jacket on. It's like, I don't know, but that's not what's important. What's important is like, what is really going on that we don't know about? And they didn't tell us our involvement. What did Trump agree to as far as our involvement? Let them fight it out. Trump signaled the ceasefire is not necessary as accordance for in line with Putin. Asking European preference. I can't tell if they really want peace, if they want the war to continue. I'm like having a hard time following this now, because I really, in my heart, don't feel like Zelensky doesn't want peace. Zelensky loves the power. He loves the stage. He's an actor. He's a comedian. This is the biggest stage he's ever been on. He became now a multi-millionaire. He might be a billionaire, pocketing out U.S. dollars, and nobody can have a count on the money that was given to them and how the money was utilized. So I think that he wants to retain power. I don't think that he wants to give up being the president of the United States, because he knows if they have another election, his behind is going to be voted out of office. He's gone. So, and Putin is not sitting back taking orders from the EU and Ukraine. You know, he don't care about them. And the United States, if we inject, what is Trump going to then announce? That we're going to go over there? Because one thing that Ukraine is lacking are people to fight the war. They're people to fight the war. They're lacking people to fight the war. That's a fact. You guys, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe. The people that's on here, we should have at least 100 likes by now. We're going to jump off of this. Hopefully, they're going to come back on. They come back on. I need more explanations of what we're being given, because this is not sitting right with me. I need more clarity. What does it exactly mean, our participation in this peace agreement and this non-peace agreement? I'm more concerned if they don't come to agreement, what is our role going to be in this Russia and Ukraine war? What are we agreeing to?
Zelensky was smiling.
He's smiling. Okay, Cindy, I'm confused too, said Debbie P. And then do it. Okay, Cindy, I'm confused.
He was happy.
He's happy. Something is, if Zelensky is happy, that meant that he got us fighting that war. Something's going on here, you guys. I need clarity of what did we agree about? What did we agree to? And Trump didn't talk about that. Did the reporters ask him, what is our participation if there is an agreement? They just kept saying that we're going to, the EU is happy, like we're going to stand, we're going to fight. They're going to send people and we're going to send people to fight Ukrainian war when everybody on their field keep dying.
Look what Richard said. Richard says Zelensky's elected best leader in the world today.
Great. You go over there, fight for him.
That has to be.
He's the best leader. You go over there and you fight for him. You go over there and you fight for him. That's the best thing you could do for Zelensky, because he needs bodies.
Yeah, that's my mom.
If you think that he's the best leader this actor clown comedian that only cares about his welfare. He has not negotiated all these years anything for his people. If he was concerned about the dying, his heart should have been bleeding. Like, look, EU, he should have been going to the President Biden. We need to end it because it's easier to end it in the beginning than it is now. That's a fact. What he said? I hope. What did Debbie P say? She gets priority.
I hope it's a trick on Zelenskyy, maybe wishful thinking.
Nah, it seemed like whatever's going on, they sat down and talked that Trump see a benefit on his side, and Zelenskyy got his benefit what he wanted. This is the only meeting he's been quiet, didn't go off, wasn't upset. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. Those were all his other meetings. What he going to do, he was making announcements. We're not giving up anything. You have to make concessions. Russia's not going to lose all the tens of thousands of soldiers and they get nothing out of it. You're not getting everything back. Nobody, he's not going to agree to that. He's not going to agree to that. So what is our part? My concern is what is our part? Where do we come in? What are you going to send our children, our men and women over there to Ukraine when Trump himself said is a playing field. There is you can't hide behind anything. The only thing stop a bullet is a body. And you're gonna fight until you die. That's it. So that's all. That's what Zelenskyy wants. He needs people, and he got that agreement today. I think that's the agreement that he got. The EU gonna send their soldiers, and the United States gonna send their soldiers to die for Zelensky's country. And just believe that Russia's not going to have China intervene. Just believe that that's not going to happen. Well, you guys, this is just a problem. This is a bigger problem, and it wasn't enough clarification for me. I'm gonna come back on. You're ready to jump off. Please like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell. We're going to come back. I got on late. Should have been on here. We would have had a lot more interaction, but we're late to the party. Oh, well, I had stuff to do. And, but just coming into listening to this, I'm more concerned than I was when he met with Putin. I'm more concerned. Isn't that crazy? I'm more concerned now than when Trump met with Putin, Vladimir Putin. I'm more concerned with this meeting because this meeting involves our involvement. I don't trust Zelenskyy. And the EU, I don't trust any of them sitting around. They did nothing to try to stop that war. Nothing. They didn't even give the money that the United States gave. Now they have the EU, like, oh, now we have the backing of the United States of America. I'm like, oh, now that means the backing means now we're going to fight. If Russia does anything, Trump is saying we're going to fight. That's what I'm hearing. It's going to become the United States war, just like what Zelenskyy wanted. The United States war. It's something more going on. See, all these business deals and these leaders, it be stuff that we'll never know about that's going on behind the scenes. I think there are other deals that are being made at the expense of citizens of all these countries.
Can people in the chat actually listen? It's like you guys are trying to find something to argue about. Listen to what my mom and what we're saying.
Yeah, I had a clue that they were MIA for 3.5 years. Where were they for 3.5 years? Did they set up a meeting with Putin? Did Zelenskyy set up a meeting with Putin? Where were everyone like for the last 3 years or prior to Putin being the aggressor into Ukraine? Where were they at now? Now they sitting around the table. They've been non-active. Trump invited them to the party. They have been. Where have they been? And now they're going to show up because the United States are going to send allegedly our soldiers because he has no people to fight. How can a war go on if you have no one to fight the war? He needs bodies. That's what he wants. Did he get that? Did Zelenskyy get that? Maybe you go over there. He doesn't. They're asking for 60-year-old men. They kidnapping people off the streets to fight the war. We see that. Everybody knows that. If you asking 60-year-old and older to fight the war, you're running out of soldiers. You've been fighting for 3.5 years. You imagine all the people that they have lost per week? Per week. Ukraine is only but so big. He's asking for people to fight. He already have asked for people to fight. What are you talking about? This not sitting right. I'm really concerned now. I'm more concerned now than I was before. I hope that somehow they can, bring a ceasefire and peace. But if they don't, I think it's going to escalate. It will escalate if they don't. And I don't know what Trump is agreeing to. I need more clarification that our involvement, how much of our involvement are you talking about? We already been given weapons and ammunition and money. Then what are you talking about? Sending soldiers? That's the only thing left. So what is our involvement? That's what I want to know. That's it. They could fight it out all they want to. It's their war. But what is the United States involvement? Because it's not ours. This does not belong to us. It doesn't belong to us. They got the EU. Let the EU help them. And the most people that got something to say won't go over there and fight for Zelenskyy. They won't. They're not donating money. They're not going over there to fight. They're not sending their children. And everybody, and it'd be people from other parts of the world saying what we should do when we got a lot of problems right here in the United States that we need to take care of. That should be a priority. We got problems here, along with a $36 trillion debt. We got a lot. We got our own problems. And we're concerned about other countries. We are tapped out. We have no money to give them. So what else can we give them? Soldiers, bodies, humans? Because we're tapped out. We have no money to give. So what else can we do? That's a fact. See, I don't know world events, but I do. One thing God has given me is wisdom and discernment and common sense. You can't get common sense from books and from schools. You got to be born with common sense. What we want to know our involvement in all of this. What did we agree upon? We have a right as United States citizens to know, what did our president then agree to? What is our involvement? It's not our war. We've given and we have helped as much as we've been able to. So what is our involvement now? What is our involvement now? Well, we want to act like we the big dogs on campus, but there's two other big dogs in the world too, called Russia and China. That's all I'm concerned about. The other big dogs. I don't think EU compares to China and what they can do. That's my only concern. I hope that peace is being able to be made. I hope that everybody can go on. I hope it's a ceasefire. But I don't want to see our boots on the ground because it's going to become our war. It will become Russia against the United States of America. That's what it will become. It won't be Russia and Ukraine. It'll be Russia and the United States as soon as we do the boots on the ground. That's all. Just don't send us over. Because once you put us over there, it's no longer their war, it's our war.
You mean crash course, not crush course.
So I just need more clarity. That's all. I need more clarity. I need to know what are our commitments? What are our new commitments to Ukraine and to the EU? how much involvement is required from us. Because when you have a country that cannot continue fighting this endless war because they don't have the people to fight the war, then what is our commitment? What, EU is going to send their countrymen to fight for Ukraine? They're going to go and die for Zelensky? Is that what the United States is going to do? We're just going to blow it up? That's how you get the World War III going on. That's it. And then they're going to go from 7,000 people a week to hundreds of thousands of people a week dying. Okay, you guys. But anyway, we got to see what else is going on. I think that they need to, hopefully, the next time the report is hopefully today. I don't know if they're going to do another meeting because, let the reporters ask questions, because when NATO was there, they didn't allow them to answer questions. They didn't take questions. So I don't know if they're going to come back on after this current meeting. So I just want more clarification. I didn't hear it. Maybe you guys did. I didn't hear the clarification about our involvement and our commitment in all of this. That's the only thing I'm talking about. Our involvement and our commitment, the United States. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. That's it. That's it. So we will find out, hopefully, the next meeting, because Trump got to be there, because they already know. They look, you're Trump. We want you there. You're Trump. We need you, because they can't talk to Putin. They can't talk to Putin. Putin is he's the aggressor. Putin is a beast. They can't talk to. Don't let them smile sweet. Putin is not to be played with or taken lightly. They know they can't go in the room with Putin. They know they want President Trump because he's the only one can talk to him as an equal, because he respects him as an equal. Putin don't respect those people. Did you see who was around the table? The president of France and the NATO president, they don't respect those people. They don't even look like you should respect them, to be honest. They look weak. I don't know. I'm not happy with this.
We don't watch CNN.
I'm not happy with this. We don't watch CNN at all. But you can have perspectives on both sides. We're talking about United States of America. It's not about who you watch. It's about even having common sense. My viewpoints is coming from this meeting that just had taken place. I haven't seen any news yet to be influenced by like the rest of you. And when I do get my news, it's from ground news, because they show you the right and the left. They're in the middle. They're non-biased, and I like that.
Who do you guys trust more, Zelensky or Putin? So we can see where you guys' minds at.
Weird.
Who do you trust more, Mom?
I don't trust neither one of them. I don't trust neither one of them. They both the same to me. It's just that Zelensky is a little dictator. He new to the party. He new to the game. Putin been, a dictator all this time. So I think they both got the same type of spirit.
They're replying. Aaron said Putin 100%. Jack, of course, says Zelensky. Of course, Jack.
I don't know when's Jack to happen. I need that 8th member, Jack, so I could do member of the week and all that kind of stuff.
Blackbird says Zelensky 100%. Ashley says Zelensky all day, every day.
I think y'all should go and help him, because he really needs y'all. Everyone that says Zelensky, y'all need to take that seriously. Don't just say that from over here if you're in the United States. Y'all need to be over there. And y'all need to be with the Ukrainian people and get what they have to say. You have to go there to hear what they have to say, because they got their media on shutdown. You only get but so much out of that country, what's being said from the people of Ukraine. So you guys really need to consider, go over there and fight for him, because he needs y'all. He needs y'all. He really does. I think they both are not to be trusted. Yeah. Zelensky is no better. He's no better. He's not. I truly believe that he doesn't want the war to end, because when the war ends, his presidential stay ends. It ends. And he doesn't want his presidential, authority and being the president of the country to end. And if the war ends, then they can have elections. As long as the war continues, they cannot have elections. They can't vote the man out of office. So I really don't believe that he wants the war to end.
Yeah, I say,
He doesn't. I don't.
Do you think Vladimir Putin seems more honest than Zelensky?
I don't know I can't tell who's more honest, but I think they both have their own agendas.
Yeah.
I think they both are dictators. They both have agendas. And Zelensky likes power, and he knows that those people that y'all say Zelensky, how much y'all trust him, I promise you that he will never get reelected. I promise you those people will not put him back in office because they're going through it with him as president. And they've been saying they want this war to end. They say they don't care how you end it. They say they want this war to end because too many of them are dying. All their young sons and fathers and uncles and cousins and nephews and people are being kidnapped. They want it to end. But he doesn't want his presidential stay to end. I wholeheartedly believe that. He liked being part of the center of the world. He's the center of attention.
Jordan said that's the truth.
He's the center of attention. And he loves, this is the biggest acting gig he's ever had in his life. And he likes being center stage. He's the talk of every news media. He's the talk, he gets to enter every room like he's a Russian president or United States president. He's at the little kids table. But that little kids table can catapult us into World War III.
Albert said this is David Goliath in the modern world.
Yeah, that's pretty much. So I'm concerned. I like to know what our involvement is.
He's for Zelensky though.
Yeah, he could be for whomever he want to be for, but to really be for him, he need bodies. He don't want to. He wants soldiers. But I believe that my concern is it escalating. That's my only concern. That it's no longer Ukraine. Ukraine will be wiped out no matter what. If the United States and then Russia, they just gonna wipe it out. Then it'll be no land to fight over. Then it'll be a World War III. Everybody being bombed. They be bombing the United States. China be bombed. Everybody gonna be bombed. You know, it won't be nothing to fight, but it's going to start out with 2 cities, and it can escalate that it's all wiped out.
Lizzie said the average fighter is 46.
Look at that, 46 years old. So all the young guys is gone then. You know, so they 3.5 years, you're going to lose a lot of people with a war going on that long, okay? And you know, now his biggest thing is that he's already asked EU to fight. He wants bodies and he wants to continue his reign.
Ryan, what we're saying is if it escalates, then more people will get involved in more countries.
And more people will die.
Yeah.
They're talking about 7,000. It'll be a lot more death and a lot more loss. Yeah. There will be no gain if it continues. No more gain. Then Russia will be ferocious. And they would go more into the country because they could take it over if he wanted to. Putin could take it over. He could go in and take it over. United States get involved, then it'll become our war. It won't be Ukraine. That's what Zelensky said. No, Zelensky said, look at the first meeting. He said, you fight. He was telling president, you fight. It's your war. You need to fight. Or they coming for you next. You fight. That's what he said. You the United States. Y'all can fight them. He wants us to fight the war.
Imagine being named Francisco.
It's bad. Anyway, I don't think that this is going to turn out too well. Because they're not going to bully Putin. They're not going to get Putin to go along with everything that they say. You know. What? You funny. You funny. You know what? We're going to do our next live about what's happening in the United States. Like I said, we have our own problems. And you know what? We're not going along with the nonsense. To put the military on Black American citizens, really? To put the military on United States citizens, that anyone Black now, everyone Black is a thug. Everyone Black is about crime. That's a lie from hell. There's more crimes in red states than they are in the Democratic states, but they're highlighted. So we're gonna be non-biased. We're gonna put up the red state statistics, and we're gonna show that there's more crime, more theft, more rapes, more killings, and all of those things is going on. But the media highlights certain cities and certain geographics while they ignore others. When we're not at the top of the food chain committing crimes, actually it's white people that commits the majority of the crimes. If you go back to my video, I think I did with Mayor Bowser, I put the statistics up, the charts up, that you can see how many murders is committed between the white population and black populations, from rape, murders, thefts, to arson, you name it, you name it. They like got 4,800,000 people committing crimes to our 1,800,000. But the media for years have had this agenda to always paint black people as criminals and as aggressive. Even in 2025, when we're movers and shakers, we're educated, college degrees, owning businesses. That's for another stream. But I'm gonna put the statistics up in these red states that he's not saying and Trump is not talking about.
And it really doesn't help when Trump is saying, using the word thugs.
Thug. And thug is another word for the N-word. You're gonna label a group of people. He's calling all black people thugs when he said thugs. But when white people commit the same crimes, they're trouble. They got mental illness. It's like mass murderers. Oh, they had a terrible childhood. It's downplayed. Everything is downplayed. And that's why people come from other countries. They look at the black population. They think they need to clutch their pearls. And it's not like that. We're not going around beating up people, but it's highlighted. They like the black on black crime, but guess what? It's white on white crime. It's Asian on Asian crime. It's Hispanic on Hispanic crime. All of that's going on. But they're going to have to look at what the mayor in Baltimore is doing to lower his crime rate down 62%, implementing the programs that all these other cities and places neglected to do. And I think that Trump, all this, having National Guard go after, and the FBI, they're not looking for criminals. If you're walking down the street, they're apprehending people who are they're not out there committing crimes. All the criminals, they staying inside. They're not out there going wild with all that going on. They're not committing crimes. If you're black, you are a suspect. And they always have been able to go after black people. And Trump, it won't be working unless that he can have numbers of bodies that he's getting off the street for whatever offense. Whatever offense. They're not out there committing crimes with that out there.
Yeah, now they can arrest you too for anything.
They can arrest you for anything. And that's
Not just federal.
And that's what they want. And that's the same bullshit that they did in 1994 with Joe Biden, the author of the 1994 crime bill. They had even black organizations was going along with, yeah, this is terrible. Like black people, this is what they show us. But they downplay mass murderers. They downplay all the murders that they're committing. They downplay that they commit more rapes and more burglaries, commit more of everything. It's downplayed. Downplayed. And black people, y'all got to stand down. You have to stand down. Don't even go to hell outside. If you're going to work, have somebody with you. You need a freaking lawyer walking around with you. Because you should not feel intimidated in your own country. They should not have the military. Crime wasn't going on like that in D.C. Trump is a liar about that. They have crime like every other state in this country. Every state in this country.
Can't he send the red state police?
Ain't gonna send the red states like it's no crime. That's a lie from hell. See, when people perish for lack of knowledge, that's what God says. We got to do our own freaking research. And they paint the same picture they did before. Oh, you lock black people up and you're safe. No, he wants another slave population. That's what he wants. That one Doge guy, this is all over the one Doge guy that had gotten beaten up when thousands of people getting beaten up throughout the United States and the red states. And he's going to get National Guards. It's like, what kind of control does Elon Musk still have? Because he's in the back. He's in the back. I believe Elon is still in the back. He's going to do all this and declare the the whole District of Columbia is full of crime. When their crime rate went down 26%, and the United States crime rate has gone down. I mean, this is a lie.
Yeah, and Judge Jeannie saying go after children, 13.
And then want to go after our children. That's when it's coming. You just trigger me. Oh, you're going to see, because what right is right and wrong is. And then you talking about going after our children, but white kids commit 62% of the crime and more crime, and they're let off with lesser sentences. It's not highlighted. It's not in the news. And then they label them as trouble, but they label us as thugs for the same crime. We get sentenced and they don't. This stuff, we got to be real. That's what Speak the Truth 2.0. We're going to put the real statistics out there in black and white. We're going to put the numbers out there because the media has done this. They have influenced the world to look at a population of people like we are, like the President of the United States, for him to label a population that he's supposed to be representing, one nation under God, that he's doing this towards his citizens and citizens that have supported and voted for him. And then he's going to turn around and do this racist act because of what a few kids did. And then you're going to say they beyond rehabilitation, lock them up, don't give them a chance, but the same goddamn chances you give to white kids that do the same thing. It's not right. And like we said, we support Trump, but we will call him out when we don't agree with him. And I don't agree with this. For the President of the United States to say what he said to the world, he's going to label black people as thugs? Coming from the highest office in the world, and he got them on it. Arrest them for anything, everything. I got to show I'm getting crime, take care of it. Crime was not like that. You want to get rid of crime? Go to New York. Go to New York. We got 350 terrorists in this country. We got 25 million, he said, illegals in this country. He's talking about all these people been let out of prison that convicted murderers and rapists. And you want to attack black people. And then the homeless in Washington. We're going to take care of 14 plus million homeless immigrants, illegal immigrants, illegals. But American citizens, you're discarding them and you're not getting a place to stay. Where are their luxury apartments? Where are their Social Security? Where are their Medicare at? And these are vets. Some of them on the street in Washington. I want it beautiful. So you want to discard them, and guess what? There's no beds in Washington, no shelters. There's nowhere for them to go. The only homes they had were those encampments. But we'll provide housing for foreigners that illegally enter this country.
Can't go to can't go to the hospitals because illegal.
Oh yeah, the only alternative is for them to go to jail because they're homeless. That's the bullshit that I don't like. I thought America couldn't help our homeless until they let in 14 plus million homeless people and gave them all shelter, all of them shelter. And our people are still on the streets. No food, no money, no shelter. And got all these silent organizations. Where the damn Democrats at now? All these silent organizations. Where are y'all? That's how this stuff happens, because when good people don't say anything, that's how evil prevails. You have to speak up for the homeless. And we could take care of 14 plus million illegals and give them the best of the best. They gave one lady $30,000 and she spent it up in 10 months and told me she need more money. $30,000 in 10 months. And we are discarding our own to make Washington beautiful? You're supposed to have a strategic plan, Trump, not go and tell them bulldoze everything the next day or the next few days and nowhere. And the people who are the ones to advocate for them, they said they told the number of beds, all the shelters are full, that they got like over 2,000 plus people with no beds, nowhere for these people to go. And these people where they're from. You got to look at, they got soup kitchens, different things that people try to help them to feed them. So they don't know where else to go. They going? They can't walk there. This is a mess. It's a mess. They discarding Americans like they trash. Like trash. Like trash. So anyway, I gotta come back on. You went through 60,000 in 7 months, but you probably earned it. Or were you illegal? You went through that in 6 months. You know, we got to help our own. We got to help our own. And we're one nation under God. And he has to be the president for all of us, not some of us. Not just the president for white people. He got to be the president for all of us. And you can't label a community of people that are movers and shakers. That's a bad light. We're not impoverished. Black people are middle class, upper middle class, multimillionaires and billionaires. We're the second highest earning making people in this country. We contribute over $1 trillion a year into the economy. Stop those lies. So anyway, that's for another show I'm going to do. I got to get off. You know, this is terrible. Okay, you guys, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for joining us. Go to our website, Speed of Truth 2.0. We will continue this conversation on another live, and maybe today. If not, it will be tomorrow. We will continue this conversation because we got to do right by Americans in general. We got to do right by and continue this one nation under God, and we don't need our president labeling us.
Someone said that's not fair. He's letting folks out of jail.
And letting folks out and want to imprison our children. And he said put them away for a long time. That means give them life sentences.
Right.
That's language for life freaking sentences. And that's the same playbook that Biden did.
Rod, I can already tell you're lying. He said I'm black and I'm tired of these black people blaming other people for their problems.
Ain't nobody blaming.
I can tell you're not black, dude.
White people do just as much. They do more crime than we do. What are you saying about that? What are you saying about it? They got you so damn brainwashed. We're our own worst enemies, and Jesus will be back before we get it together. They're using the same damn Biden 1994 crime bill playbook. You know who backed them up? The NAACP. The caucus, what was it, CBC? All these black institutions, Jesse Jackson, all these black leaders, then they come to find out that was the worst, Al Sharp, that was the worst thing they could have done, was supported that because it caused mass incarceration of black men. They were over sentenced. He said beyond rehabilitation, our streets will be safer. You hear that? Same tone. Oh, you'll be safer with black people. Like we don't have criminals running all around this country that aren't black.
Like we don't have gangs and terrorists in this
country. Like we don't have gangs, terrorists, the cartel, fentanyl. We got Iranians. We got everything here. Taliban. We got ISIS is bad. We got everything. We are not the threat, and we better learn as Americans staying together. Because when stuff gets kicked off, we're going to regret it. That we are not standing together. Wait till the terrorists and everybody else start acting up. Don't come looking for us. We got to do right. Hey, Aaron. We got to do right. That's what we have to do. We have to do right by United States citizens and don't label us all in the same boat. There are criminals in every different ethnicity. White, black, Hispanic, Asian, Latinos, indigenous, Indians. All of us have criminals. But black people for the last 400 years, we're always highlighted. And it has to stop. Even in 2025. And you can't have our children, Trump. You can't have them. You can't take our babies and talk about they can't be rehabilitated. And then we're not talking about people committing murders and stuff. Well, the people that they trying to lock up now, they're not murderers. They're just looking for bodies. They're not rapists. They're looking for bodies. They're looking for anyone black to get numbers. Oh, you safe now because a black person is off the street.
And kid black people, young black people.
Children, teenagers. Y'all know it's almost time for y'all to go to school. Y'all need to only go out with your parents. Y'all got to stay in, stand down. You are, even the mayor of the District of Columbia said you're targeted. They're being targeted. That's what I don't like.
Lizzie said, when did he say this? I need to see.
When did he say what?
What you talking about?
You can look on his True Social. When he called black people thugs. He got, and he even wrote, I never saw him. He was triggered. Paragraph no, it was a book. This long in length. Trying to justify. He was triggered. And I think what triggered him is Elon. I believe that Elon is a big racist. I believe that he's doing this because it was big balls. When that young man had gotten beaten up, I wish he had dialed 911 by those kids, those teenagers. That triggered Trump. And now we got the National Guards. We got the FBI. We got all these federal agencies. You would have think that an explosion went off and that there was like something like a war happened in DC, what he has there. One white guy had gotten beaten up. That's triggered all this, but it was a former Doge employee. Elon is already racist. He comes from a racist continent. So I believe whatever Elon has on Trump, Trump is trying to prove something to him, because once he said that Trump was in them Epstein files, and there's more to it, and he started putting that stuff out, I think Trump is to show him, look, Elon, I'm going to take care of those black people. I'm going to lock them all up. They did that to this young, beautiful, this young, beautiful white guy. We're going to take care of him. We're going to lock them all up. And we'll get the Democrats to go along. We'll get all the black organizations to go on, because the freaking news media always want to put us in that light. But they downplay all. The same time he was doing that, there was target killing. The white man killed 3 people, hijacked cars.
A black man stopped him too.
A black man. No, that was the other one. Yeah. No, that was the other one. With that stabbed 11 people. Black man stopped him, could have taken him down. A former Marine. The sheriff didn't even want to say that it was a black man. He giving the freaking cops credit when a black man stopped this man. He even stabbed someone in the eye. He tried to kill 11 people. No news. CDC. He kills a black officer. Like, oh, they were trouble. Mental illness. The brawl that happened in Cincinnati, they arrested the black people, not saying that the white Russian, he's not even American, started the fight. He's the one that threw the first hits. But of course, you're going to arrest the black people. Then when they de-escalated it, a white guy come in and slap a black guy, but he wasn't arrested at the time. But people are saying, well, how come y'all only arrest the black people, didn't arrest the white people that went in the neighborhood that started all the brawl? And now they arrested, they got his lawyer together. And of course, the white guy, he suffers from mental illness. But he gonna go up there and he gonna pop a black guy. He escalated it all over again. See, this is the kind they give you half reporting. Because black people just don't go and attack white people. We don't go and do that. You know we don't do it. We don't go and just gonna go fight them for no reason. But we gonna fight back. It's 2025. You gonna bring the smoke. Just because you're getting beat up, that don't mean that you weren't the aggressor. But Trump got triggered by that, and then he gonna feel like the red states are safer. That's a lie from hell. That's a lie. That's a lie. You do the statistics, all these states got crime. All of them have crime. All of them.
And then when he showed Washington, D.C. crime, he was comparing it to other countries.
Yeah, he didn't show Washington. Well, you want to compare Washington crime to other countries. Who? You're supposed to compare it to other cities, not other countries. He couldn't even compare it to other cities. He compared to other countries. We're gonna dive in there, but I got to get off. I spent too much time. I haven't had anything to eat today, and I've been busy, and I got to go ahead and relax. But all those videos, they are coming soon. We're going to touch. We're going to break it down, and we want us to be one nation under God. We don't want the divide. This is divide. And we can't fall for the okie doke again. Like all black people are criminals and thugs and you're unsafe. That's a lie. We're more afraid of being unsafe than y'all are. This is crazy. But we're not going to fall for it. We're going to call it out. We're going to put the playbook out. And we're going to put these organizations out that should be protecting our own. The Democratic Party. Y'all go over El Salvador to fight for MS-13 gang member Kilmar Garcia. But then when black people are being attacked, we can't hear you. But you get 93% of the black vote. You get 93% of the black vote and we can't hear you. And we got stupid black people that don't understand. We're being played. They're using the history is repeating itself. Same tactics. History is repeating itself. And we're so dumb that we don't even see the playbook. But not on my watch. We're going to put it out there.
Oh, thanks for saying that.
What?
The comment Doris just removed. He says, look at him being a good son next to his mom.
Okay, you guys, I'm off. Peace out. Check out our videos, but we're going to be talking about that. I'm not comfortable with this Zelenskyy thing and Putin thing and Trump thing. And they have to be more clarity. I want to know, where do we stand in these negotiations? What did we promise? What did we promise? Whenever you're ready, because I'm tired.
All right, see you guys.
Peace out.